It was September 1777. From his headquarters at Brandywine Creek, General Washington planned to keep the British from capturing Philadelphia. Alas, he failed. The loss at Brandywine was followed by several more in the region surrounding Philadelphia. By late September, the city had fallen to the Redcoats. By the third week of December, General Washington and his beleaguered troops had slouched to Valley Forge. They were worn out, undersupplied, and besieged by disease and death. There was one silver lining in the cold gray skies above Pennsylvania. While the British had their Hessians, Washington had gained his own German, an officer from Prussia, Baron Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben. The commander assigned the Prussian captain to train the American troops. General Washington chose well. Under Steuben, the American army that had limped into Valley Forge marched out a fighting force that matched its British and Hessian enemies. Over 30,000 forces clashed at the Battle of Brandywine Creek on September 11, 1777. The American and British armies were nearly equal in size. Hessian General Wilhelm von Kniphausen engaged the Americans at Chad's Ford. General Howe and his forces crossed the Brandywine Creek upstream. Several hours into the battle, Howe caught Washington off guard. Howe's forces tore into the Continental Army's right flank, while Kniphausen attacked from Chad's Ford. Washington's forces were overwhelmed. Though wounded during the battle, the Marquis de Lafayette played an important role in leading the American retreat, supported by Nathanael Greene, who led a vital rear defense as the Patriot forces moved out. 7 days later, on September 18th, von Kniphausen and his forces struck Valley Forge, where vital supplies for the Continental Army were stored. Alexander Hamilton and Light Horse Harry Lee tried to halt the assault, but the British won the day, seizing supplies and burning some buildings. Chronically short on what he needed to feed, clothe, and house his men, General Washington ordered General Anthony Wayne to doggedly attack the British for their supplies. On September 20th, under the cloak of night, British Major General Charles Grey led 1,200 soldiers in a surprise attack on Wayne and the 2,500 Patriots in his command at Paoli, Pennsylvania. The entire American division was routed. According to some reports, the British even butchered some Patriots who tried to surrender. The brief battle came to be known as the Paoli Massacre. On September 26, Philadelphia fell to the British. Less than 2 weeks later, the Americans lost the Battle of Germantown. By November 16th, Forts Mifflin and Mercer had fallen to the British, thereby securing General Howe's ability to receive supplies coming up the Delaware River. Between December 5th and the 7th, the last major engagement of the year took place at White Marsh. The battle was indecisive. On December 8th, Howe and the British returned to Philadelphia. 3 days later, Washington and his army left for Valley Forge. After suffering multiple defeats over the previous few months, they faced a dismally wet, cold, and sickly winter. It was a low point for the Continental Army. Washington ordered his troops to build huts for winter shelter, a task made exceedingly difficult by the Army's lack of necessary tools and no sawmill nearby. Each hut was a mere 224 square feet in size, with 18 inches of clay for insulation. Somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 huts were constructed. The weather was frigid. Food, clothing, and blankets were in short supply. So were basic hygiene, sanitation, and medical care. More than 2,000 American soldiers, 1 out of every 6 in Washington's army, died from smallpox, dysentery, and other diseases that winter. In February 1778, reinforcement appeared in the form of a single German officer, the Prussian Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben. About 25% of the entire British force during the Revolutionary War consisted of German mercenaries, Americans commonly referred to them as Hessians, but only half of them were from Hesse Kassel. The others hailed from other German regions. Steuben was 47, a veteran military officer who had served 17 years with the Prussian army, by all accounts, the most disciplined and professional army in the world. He found the American forces lacking in almost every quality he knew in military life. Yet, he was undaunted. He proceeded to transform Washington's flagging Continental Army with Prussian military training, discipline, and a collection of well-defined Army regulations. The collection was called Steuben's Blue Book. Though only a captain in the Prussian Army, in May of 1778, Steuben was given the rank of Major General. 1 month later, the restored and improved Continental Army marched out of Valley Forge. 3 years later at Yorktown, the last major battle of the war, General Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben would command one of the 3 divisions that defeated the British.